Hello, Virgo. I hope you are well. This is your Astroscope for the month of April. And let's just see what my guides want to share with you. What does the month of April have in store? What energies will be present? What messages do you need to hear? I was about to grab, when I was trying to pull the one, I was like, nope, don't pull that way. There's one more. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so we have 4. We have time, reflect, fear, chaos. All right, my loves. So for the month of April, for you Virgos, it's going to be really important that you really prioritize creating space for yourself to hold yourself. When I say hold yourself, I don't mean physically, figuratively, okay? i.e., how are you doing emotionally? So this month, there may be experiences or moments where if we aren't practicing presence, if we aren't creating space for ourselves to support our nervous systems, to support our needs, to support our boundaries, and just joy, that we may become really easily distracted or led by fear, which, as we know, when we drop into that state of fear, granted, depending on the circumstance, because every one of us, I'm not saying if you live in if your environment, you live in a space or an environment that is not safe or supportive, or you work in an environment that is not safe or threatens your well-being, that, you know, just hold yourself, create space for you. That's not what I'm saying here, because I think it's really important that we acknowledge that within this space, within like the spiritual community, that it's not always easy for everybody based on circumstances. But what my guides are sharing is that this month, as you may know, when we drop our power into an emotion that is not supportive, truly supportive for us, or we don't learn how to utilize that emotion in a way that supports us, we don't transmute the energy, right, the power, it can lead us down a rabbit hole, i.e. chaos. So we may, and fear isn't always an expression where we cower and we decide not to do something. Sometimes fear can motivate FOMO, can motivate one to pursue, to take action towards something that we know may not be fully aligned with our truths, our values, our morals, our desires, our goals, needs, boundaries, so on and so forth. And so this month, be sure that you are really connecting regularly with what your needs are, with how you are doing, with slowing down. If you are feeling a need to like rush and like jump into something because that is how you are as an individual, cool. But before you take the full leap, maybe try to understand, spend a little bit of time if you can to look at like, okay, what would be the most supportive thing that could happen, and what would be the most unsupportive thing, like, for lack of a better term, because I'm sure there's a better or more correct term there, but to understand your whys behind it and the possibilities that could result from actions that are led by fear. Okay, now the other thing I want to add here is that this month feels figuratively slow. It's not so much a time for external movement, physical action, external action. This feels like more of a time to really just enjoy this month, to drop in with where I'm at, with what I'm doing, practice gratitude for the self, appreciation for the self, enjoy, like, really witness what we are doing, have done, or pursuing, or reaching towards, and not just reflecting on, okay, what can change, what can be better, but damn, like, this feels good, like, I'm happy with where I'm at. Or even if we're not fully happy with where we are, to at least express the gratitude with where we are, so that way we are in supportive relation with the subject of fear or FOMO. And again, if you find yourself being like, oh shit, I find myself in the result, like in a result of in an unsupportive state, emotional, mental state, and the result of allowing fear to guide me, we can still adjust it. We can still shift it through presence, through discernment. So when we can pinpoint, okay, yeah, we can say, be real with ourselves and say, shit, all right, yeah, that choice was led by FOMO. That choice was led by the imbalanced ego. And I don't just mean inflated egos, okay, because the ego is both supportive and unsupportive. However, in the ego can be, FOMO. It can be, the ego can be where we limit ourselves in our learning because we feel like we've already reached that point. The ego can be the not asking for help because I can do it on my own, right? So if you find yourself in a state of mental or emotional static, create space to reflect on what you're feeling and why that is. Holding space for yourself to nurture and to repair versus holding space to criticize and, just rip apart ourselves. That's not what we need to do this month, okay? All right, my loves. I hope this message is supportive for you. Until next time, take care.